All right, welcome back to Talking Ball with Pat Leonard, live from Radio Row in New Orleans, Super Bowl 59 on the Believe Network. Brought to you by Boom Chaga Mushroom Super Drink, Sal Loretta for Men, Luxury Menswear and Tailoring, State 98 Coffee, and My Bookie Sportsbook. And we have a very special guest with us right here, Kyle Rudolph, 12-year veteran, two-time Pro Bowl tight end, excellent player, excellent person. Always great to see you guys.
Yeah, you too, Pat.
So this week, this Saturday, I'm not sure who's more excited about this, honestly, you or me, because last year I got to attend the 33rd annual Taste of the NFL event at the Super Bowl. It was honestly the best event I've ever attended. 34th annual this year, Saturday night, National World War II Museum here in New Orleans. Kyle, what is special about this event? Why does this mean so much to you?
For me, it's kind of a culmination of everything. We're in one of the greatest food towns in the world. And obviously, it's the biggest game of the year in the Super Bowl. And when you can bring those two things together, and we can use the platform that the NFL provides us through the Super Bowl to make a difference while having good food at the same time, it's awesome. And GENYOUth is a national nonprofit that I serve on the board on. We are the beneficiary from Taste of the NFL. Taste of the NFL has to do is not just here in the Orleans market where the Super Bowl is, but all the other 31 markets across the league. We're able to use the net proceeds from this event to instill programs in schools to help kids, get meals that they need, to get the education that they need, diet and exercise. And for me, really, before I got involved with GENYOUth over 10 years ago, we don't think of food insecurity. It's America. Like, of course, if you need food, you have access to it. And the numbers were staggering to me. Right now, 1 in 5 kids nationally are food insecure. And then here in New Orleans, with the Super Bowl, so to be able to have an event like Taste of the NFL around the biggest game in football in such an incredible food town, it's going to be a blast. I remember you being at the one last year in Vegas, and this year's food is insane. I mean, it is so good. All the chefs that are coming out, all the restaurants here in town that are supporting. I can't wait. It's the highlight of my week.
So it's a purpose-driven culinary experience to raise awareness and money to tackle hunger in America. How did that cause become something you were passionate about?
Well, to me, it's about kids. Throughout the course of my career as a farmer, anything and everything I can do to help kids, whether it's kids in school, kids in the hospitals, the children's hospitals, is a huge part of our philanthropic efforts. And when you think about it, you know what it's like to miss a meal. You're angry, pissed, and these kids don't know where their next meal is going. And how do you expect a child to wake up and not have breakfast and then go be a productive member of the class and listen and pay attention when they haven't eaten? So to be able to provide the necessary resources for these kids to just, even if it's grabbing something quick when they get to school and having like a grab and go meal, giving them the proper nutrients and the proper fuel that they need to just be successful, to reach the potential that these kids across the country have.
No doubt. Great cause. It's GENYOUth, the beneficiary of the event. Go find GENYOUth, support GENYOUth. Great cause. All right, so flipping the football for a little bit. Wanted to ask you, not start with the Super Bowl. I want to ask you about some of these young tight ends who have come on into the NFL and just taken the league by storm. The 3 that come to mind when I think of the young tight ends who are just astounding talents, as you once were yourself. Brock Bowers with the Raiders, Trey McBride from the Cardinals, Sam Laporta with the Lions. What stands out to you about what makes those guys special as talents, and why are they able to help dominate games, not just contribute?
Well, I think, I'll start with Sam Laporta because he's really kind of, and it's the mentality of Detroit Tigers, Dan Campbell, Ray Van Johnson plays. Like Sam Laporta is not like many of the players, even Brock Bowers. He doesn't have to. and he should. If you're an offensive coordinator and you put him in those situations, shame on him.
He's a receiver.
He's a receiver. But Sam Laporta is not that new generation. Right? He's a guy that can get down and dirty, pass protect when he needs to. But then on 1st and 10, when you have to actually pass, on 3rd down, when you need a big version or in the red zone, he's making huge plays. I love Sam Laporta so much. He's that old.
All right. The Wi-Fi going out on us. I think it was the Giants trying to pull the plug because I was about to ask you a couple Giants questions. So first, I need to know. We saw you on the sidelines in Minnesota with our guy Daniel Jones. How's he doing?
He's doing good. Obviously, a year that he or no one else would have expected. Through some challenging times, some challenging moments. I think you got to give the Giants credit. They made a decision that felt like it was in the best interest of the organization, but they also did right by Daniel by not making him stay. They could have easily been like, no, you're under contract, we're paying you, you have to stay here, and that's not good for him. It's not good for the team, it's not good for the locker room, it's not good for Daniel. So to see Daniel, I checked in with him from time to time when he was going through the process of figuring out where do I go next. Obviously, we talked about Minnesota when Minnesota became an option, and I was happy for him that that's ultimately what he decided to go because I just knowing Kevin just the ability to relate to this. I think we've seen every quarterback that's played for him be successful. Obviously, Kirk Cousins, who was the bona fide starter when he got there, to the backups that played that year when Kirk got hurt, Sam Darnold against the complete resurgence. So they certainly have an interesting decision what they're going to do in the quarterback position.
They do.
I think that there's a legitimate chance that hopefully we're seeing a story much like Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and Dan Jones. Daniel has the opportunity to find his career.
In Minnesota or somewhere else?
I would love to see him in Minnesota. That's me being biased as a huge Daniel Jones fan and friend and a team that I played for a long time that could use a really good quarterback. So that's me in my dream, but it just, I raved about DJ my whole time when I was in New York. I've done it now that I'm on this side of the microphone in the media world because I know how talented he is. I saw that firsthand. I also know how hard he works and how important it is to him. So you want to see guys like that do well and ultimately reach their potential and fulfill their potential. But that's not always the case given the situation.
Right. No, there's no doubt in my mind that if Daniel's on a team next year that has a Kevin O'Connell type, whether it's the Vikings or somewhere else with a smart offensive mind who's relatable, that next year people will be saying, yes, this is why he was the number 6 overall pick. And anyone who's doubting it right now is going to look silly. One thing on O'Connell, that quarterback show, I think it was on Netflix, the way he talked to Kirk Cousins in games, it just seemed like the right way to relate to a quarterback in the moment. I don't know how else to put it.
I saw a clip this year, actually. He was mic'd up. He's in Sam Darnold's ear, and he's like, Sam, walk away from the huddle. And he walks away from the huddle, and he's just real with the clip. He's like, dude, you're going to keep it. It's almost like your big brother, because he's not your dad. He's only 3 years older than me. Your big brother's over there, and he's like, hey, dude, walk away from that. And he's in your ear, so just kind of creating that. Our environment is so much stronger. And no one puts more pressure on themselves than we do. So when you have a coach like that, you kind of put the starting out there. Hey, we got this. Let's go. Not to mention, Christian Darrisaw got awesome left tackle. You got a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle, a Pro Bowl type tackle. You got a solid interior. Mary Jones is great. The best receiver in football. Justin Houston is pretty good. TJ Hawkinson, great tight end. Jordan Addison, another great receiver.
Stud.
I want to see Daniel Jones with those surroundings, not the surroundings he's had in the league.
Agree. Speaking of New York, Saquon, your former teammate in New York, you saved him in New Orleans, recovering that fumble. Was it an overtime in the fourth quarter? How special is it to see what he's done this year? Like, to say he's had a good season is not an accurate.
Again, it goes to the surroundings, the environment. Like, you put Saquon in caliber of player that he's in that Philadelphia market. It reminds me of like the '90s Cowboys. Like, they already have a dominant offensive line. It doesn't matter who's behind them; they're going to be productive. And then you put one of the best backs in football behind them, and you get the type of year that's Saquon has got. So, knowing Say as well as I know he works, knowing how much he battled through the injuries, the time that I was around him, we had the ACL the year before I got there.
Ankles,
He had a freak ankle sprain when we were playing the year I was there in Dallas, and it's just, I know what he's done. So to see him reproduce his work and have a caliber year, we all know he can do. To me, that's what I love seeing. That's what I root for now as a fan, not a player. I just love seeing guys reach the potential.
No doubt. All right. I know your time's precious. A few more quick ones. First, have to say, how about our Irish? How bright is the future as well as the present for Notre Dame football?
I mean, I think it was awesome to see Notre Dame back to where they were. It wasn't Notre Dame winning 12 games, winning a couple of close ones against good teams and beating a lot of not very good teams and then getting smoked in the college football playoff like we've seen in the past. This was a legitimate good football team. And the talent disparity that we've seen over the last 35 years is Marcus is doing getting good football, getting buy-in. I mean, look at it. Like, after each season, these schools, their transfer portal is like a third of the team or more, and yet they're buying into what Marcus is doing. He's honest with the kids, tells them like it is, and then they buy into kind of the old school way of college football, where I might not play right now, but when I develop and get an opportunity, I play well. Chance to go play in the NFL. So I think Marcus is doing it from now, which I would have loved to see a team. They still did an incredible job rallying in the second half and making it a close game. But you think of Benjamin Wilson, you think about the other injuries on the interior defensive line, edge rushers. We lose a left tackle in the semifinals game. It's like Ohio State's really talented.
You need your top
level talent to be there to be able to.
Yeah, honestly, one of the toughest Notre Dame teams in a long time. You know, all those teams are tough, but I mean, like, even the resilience in that game of coming back with the way the first half went. And you knew at halftime, like, people who were like, oh, Ohio State's running away with it. It's like, no, they are not.
We're going to make it close. And I think in today's college football landscape, gone are the days that you get 5 weeks and everybody's going to be healthy and fresh. You got to win. It's like the NFL. Like,
it's crazy.
The most healthy team, the most resilient team, the team that's gritty and winning close games, they're going to be the teams that play and win national championships. Not necessarily the best.
Yeah. All right. Here comes the boom, brought to you by Boom Chaga Mushroom Super Drink. Which player is going to make the biggest boom impact in this Super Bowl on the Eagles or Chiefs? Maybe not like a Saquon, obvious, or Patrick Mahomes, somebody under the radar.
Yeah, I think sticking in the tight end world, obviously we know Travis is going to have a huge impact on this. I've honestly never seen anyone have the impact that he's had on Super Bowls and games. But I'm going on the other side of the defensive bench. We know A.J. Brown, Martha Smith, Dallas Scott. It's going to be important for Philly to run the ball. They have to run the ball. Big offensive line, talking about Saquon. Makes a very favorable matchup for Dallas Scott. I think Dallas does.
All right. Also, look good, play good. Brought to you by Sal Loretta for Men. Who is the best dressed teammate throughout your career? Every game they walk in, you're like, oh yeah, he's
let's That's a great question.
You could be the answer.
No, I'm not going to say this. It's interesting because, like, throughout the course of my career, it was suits on the road. You had to wear a sport jacket. Maybe you could wear jeans if you wanted with them, but style has kind of changed now throughout the course of the NFL. It's like you see the emphasis that's placed upon how you look when you show up to the game. But it's interesting. These guys definitely have a different sense of style than maybe I did. But Trav's a guy that's always looking good. Patrick, Jalen, Satan's a guy that always looks good, dresses good. So it's always fun. They definitely wear some things that I know I can never do. I'll never attempt to wear.
Not even for free. Wear this for free. No.
So I took business casual to a whole nother level today. I got my sport coat on and then a hoodie under it. So really bringing the business casual to the forefront.
We got to get you into Salaretta for Men in Midland Park. They actually have now. It's like a high-end sport coat, and it's got a zipper on either side with a hood built into it that you can also take out. So let's get you into Salaretta. And finally, Pat's picks with my bookie. Who's going to win the game? Chiefs or Eagles?
I'm going Chiefs. I think it's very similar to last year. Everything tells me that the Chiefs are the inferior team. San Francisco is way better than they were. I think Philly's way better. Super talented, #1 defense in the NFL. Until someone beats them, you just can't do it. You're like, of course, why not bet against Patrick? So until they are dethroned, until someone beats them in a close game.
All right, there. This has been Talking Ball with Pat Leonard on the Believe Network at Super Bowl Radio Row in New Orleans. Brought to you by Boom Chaga, Salaretta, MyBookie, and the State 98. He is the one and only Kyle Rudolph, 12-year NFL vet, two-time Pro Bowler here for the 34th annual Taste of the NFL event, presented by Frito-Lay, Quaker, and Pepsi, and benefiting GENYOUth on Saturday night. Kyle, thanks so much for being here and for being our great guest. A free bag of Boom Chaga for you. Antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, lowers cholesterol, throw it in your coffee, tea, whatever you want. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.